welcome to a late night special. I thought that since I am trying to get into reading, right, I just read Jeanette McCurdy's I'm Glad My Mum Died. I've been trying to get into reading, and actually I've been trying to get into writing as well, because I do like writing stories. They are really fun. But today I thought, let's read some fan fiction, because I've never done that before, and I thought, I love video games. Why not see if there's a story based on some good books, or no, not books, on video games. So we're gonna go with the fan favourite original Sonic, because I've heard they get a bit wacky, and I thought, why not? Why not? Okay, I think AO2 is one. Is AO2 a fanfic site? I think it is. I've never gone on AO2 before. Is AO2 a thing? I think it is. Is this AO2? What is this? What the hell? Archive of Our Own. Is this it? I don't know. A fan-created, fan-run, non-profit, non-commercial archive. Okay, this must be it. Okay, I don't know how this website works. If you can hear the beeping, that's my keyboard. Sonic. I just put in Sonic, so I don't really know what I'm doing. Tags. Creator chose not to use archive warnings. Shadow the Hedgehog. And Knuckles. Miles, Tails, Brower. Oh my god, he's my favourite. Shadow, Sonic, Knuckles. This one just seems kind of normal. We gotta get a juicy one, you know. I found one called Sonic 12.2. This one looks... Oh no, never mind. This is about the Doctor from Doctor Who. And it's got some very, very disturbing tags. Okay, never mind. We won't be doing that. Okay, I can't find any. My take on Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Graphic depictions of violence, major character death. This looks fun. I'm gonna read it out loud. It was strange for them. What? Okay, I don't really know if this is... Is this all of it? Or is this just part one? Oh my god. You know, when I was younger, there was this song that I used to love. It was called Call the Doctor. No, what was it called? I think it was called Monster. Call the doctor, must be something wrong with me. Oh, he's a monster, why do I want you? Love that song. That song was amazing. I loved it. But Sonic dies in it because Tails stabs him because he turns evil. I know. Sonic.EXE. Oh my god, Sonic.EXE. I used to love that. I was all for Sonic.EXE. Oh my god, I found one. Sonic.EXE. I know I found this one before. That's a creepy, but that's the actual creepypasta, but I want one that's original, you know. What is this one? Set after Sonic colours. Okay, I don't need any with the games, because I don't know the games. The only one I know is Sonic Forces, and I know people hate Sonic Forces, but I think it's really good. I love Sonic Forces. Okay, this website is not as weird as I thought it'd be. Okay, Sonic.EXE rewritten. By the way, I don't want to offend anyone who read these books. I'm an amateur writer myself, so I can't judge at all. But I don't think this one's disturbing, but why not? Inspired by... Come on, Chase, it's up to you now. You can do it, Chase. Chase is on the edge of their seat, their right hand gripping the mouse as they manoeuvre their character through the online deathmatch. With a few quick keystrokes and clicks of mouse, Chase successfully cleared the leaderboard. The Discord calls go wild as everyone celebrates. Nice going, Chase, Abby cheers. Their reaction time was insane, Elizabeth adds on. Yeah, you're getting pretty good at this, Benjamin agrees. That got you enough points to buy that cosmetic in the shop. This is how every weeknight went for the close-knit group of geeks. All four of them would finish up their homework, chores and dinner as fast as possible and hop online to play a game or two with one another. Each one of them had their own perks. Benjamin has the skills to pay the bills and strategy. Elizabeth can dig deep into code and understand how a game works. And Abby has great charisma to make up for her lack of video game experience. Chase usually serves as a jack of all trades, but lately they have been sharpening their skills thanks to Ben. These four high school friends have been gaming like this since the 5th grade, each of them tuning up their computers and software to optimise their skill. Chase seems like my type of person. Who's up for another round? Chase asks the others. Not me, Elizabeth replies, stretching. I've got all that work on them. I've still got to work on that mod for Minecraft. I haven't touched that thing in ages. I'll play another, Abby chirps. Oh wait, Elizabeth speaks again. I forgot to tell you all something. The call goes silent with anticipation as Elizabeth fumbles around with something. I was mailed this CD with Sonic the Hedgehog on it, she explains. There wasn't an return address, so I couldn't send it back. I was thinking about playing it and seeing what happens. I don't know, man, that sounds like it's got a virus on it, Ben remarks. Who even uses CDs anymore anyway? Chase laughs. Whoever the scammer is must be stuck in the early 2000s or something. That's why I want to play it, Elizabeth states. You can't get a virus from CDs at all, so I'm curious about why someone would send me this with no context. Is it at least a good Sonic game? Chase asks. Sonic always brought up good memories for them, so if this disc was some limited edition version, they were going to be stoked. Silly me. It's Sonic 1, so of course it's good. Sonic 1, Green Hill Zone. I love the music. Ba, 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 ba. Well, fire it up already, Chase exclaims. Do I find it weird reading out someone else's work? Like, if you're the author of this, like, no judge on you. In fact, I'm quite enjoying it myself. Are you sure this is a good idea? Abby asks, a little sceptical. Do you know what, Abby? I'm with you, girl. Clearly gonna get killed in a second. I hope none of them die. I like all of them at the moment. Yeah, it's fine, Elizabeth assures her. I can fix it if it really messes up my computer somehow. She shares her screen through the Discord call. Oh, they're not together. And her sci-fi computer background shows up through the video stream. Everyone in the call watches carefully as Elizabeth gets the CD out of the case. Alright, Sonic is a go in 3, 2, 1. She inserts the disc and almost immediately her screen turns black. I would just like to state, I have played Sonic.EXE. I didn't think it frightened me as much as it should have, but it did. I remember I was playing, I think it was like Rouge.exe or Amy.exe, and I clicked off it. I turned my computer off because I was scared. I kid you not, I thought my computer was hacked or something because it came back on with the video game still on, and I was like, am I being killed? The video stream froze on the change frame, and what the friend saw was highly unnerving. Sonic's eyes were completely black, save the pupils, which were beady, red dots that stared into the soul of anyone who looked upon it. Sonic's smile appeared to widen, and tears of blood dripped from his eyes. The water in the background turned red, and the sky turned black with ugly storm clouds. After a minute or so of the stream being frozen, Elizabeth was booted out of the call along with the video stream. A heavy silence filled the digital space. "Uh-oh," Chase muttered. "Uh-oh indeed. What happened? What was that?" Abby asked, panicked. "It wasn't Sonic 1, that's for sure," Ben replied. "I'm texting her to make sure she's alright." After another moment or so, Elizabeth joins back in the call. Her audio sounds lower in quality. "Guys, this is crazy," she said. "This game just took over my whole computer. I had to rejoin the call on my phone." "I told you," Abby interjects. "Did you see that freeze frame too? I've got a picture of it just in case," Chase asked. "Yeah, I saw it," Elizabeth said with a shiver. "Should have guessed there would be a twist. Check this out." She turns on her camera and points it at her computer screen. "Here's my main monitor. Looks like some twisted save slot selection screen. The second monitor just has that god-awful frame on it." She pans the camera so the others can see the haunting image. The detail put into the pixels of that picture were highly unnerving. "Did you try turning off your computer?" Ben suggests. "Ben, no one likes a smart ass." Elizabeth pushes the power button, but it doesn't do anything. She presses the power button again and it holds it. "It's not working," she says, fear creeping into her voice. "Oh God," Chase mutters. "This really is bad." "Don't worry, I'll get this figured out," Elizabeth says. "I'll let you guys know when I get it sorted out. See you in a bit." "No! Elizabeth's gonna die." I liked Elizabeth. Damn. "Good luck. Be careful." Elizabeth leaves the call and Chase sighs. This sort of thing was bound to happen with Elizabeth's coding shenanigans. Just because she coded a website once doesn't mean she knows everything about all kinds of software. "Do you think she'll be alright?" Abby asks after a long silence. "Yeah, she'll be fine," Ben assures her. "She does this sort of thing to herself all the time with random internet downloads. This can't be any different." The night went on, but none of them got word from Elizabeth. Chase sent a text her way now, and again, she didn't answer. By the time everyone logged off for the night, Elizabeth's silence began to worry them. The virus couldn't be this bad, could it? Chase set their headphones down next to the keyboard and got up from the computer chair, which slid a little thanks to the wheels attached to it. The room was dotted with posters and figurines from their favourite games and movies like Mega Man, Legend of Zelda, and, of course, Sonic the Hedgehog. Since Chase got off their computer late tonight, the room is shrouded in darkness, save the dinosaur lamp that changes the colours resting on the nightstand. Their computer is directly across from their bed, so it was easy for them to change into their pyjamas and flop onto bed. They found it hard to sleep that night, for the haunting image of the twisted Sonic still lingered in their mind. Wait, why is this good? I came here to find some funny ones, but these are actually quite good. The friends met at the bus stop, but Elizabeth didn't show up. Once the bus arrived and the friends climbed aboard, the worry from last night began to creep back to them. "Where is she?" Abby asks, looking back at the bus stop as the bus lumbered away. "I don't know," Ben replies. "I haven't gotten any text from her, and it's not like her to leave someone on red." "This is really strange," Chase says. "I don't know what that game is or what it did, but it's got Elizabeth in a rut." "I don't have softball today, so we can go visit her if you want," Abby suggests. "Sounds like a plan to me," Chase agrees. "But we've just got to get through the school day first." Just like they planned, the group of friends head over to Elizabeth's house. Elizabeth's parents were out for the week, so they were able to walk right in. The house, however, was deathly quiet. It was a terrifying contrast to the other times they visited her house, when the rooms were filled with music or the sound of someone preparing dinner. This silence wasn't normal, and every one of them knew it. This is quite good. "Elizabeth? Elizabeth?" Chase calls, but their voices met with terrible silence. "Oh jeez," Abby whispers as she grips the straps on her backpack. The group moves through the empty house, heading for Elizabeth's room. Once they find it, however, the sight they beheld startled them. Abby shrieked, Ben froze, and Chase grasped in horror. Elizabeth lays limp in her computer chair, her eyes bloodshot and dead. She is covered in her own blood, and in her blood-stained hand she loosely holds the accursed disc, which is suspiciously spotless. Abby had to step away, but the other two could only stare upon the sight of their dead friend. Ben is first to move, stepping into the room and looking around. Chase steps in after him, creeping up and carefully taking the disc from Elizabeth's cold, dead hands. I loved it. Elizabeth was my favourite. Fuck's sake. Wait, who do I not want to die? Abby. If Abby dies. If Chase dies. No, Chase is the hero. I think that Chase is the protagonist, so he won't die. I don't think this is any regular disc, Chase says, looking at both sides. One side is labelled Sonic.EXE. You think that game did this to her? Ben asks, astonished. What else could it have been? Chase asks back. Elizabeth's eyes look just like that evil Sonic in the freeze frame. What if it's like one of those true crime things? Abby asks from the doorway. Beats me, Ben sighs. Let's just call the police and get out of here. Once you do that, let's see what this disc's all about at my house, Chase says. This is just too weird. Chase, no! Chase and their friends called the police, and almost immediately the house was swarming with agents and investigators. Any piece of possible evidence was sealed in the Ziploc bag with a number written on it, and every item made it into the police's hands except for the disc. Chase held onto the disc with a strange sense of protection. They didn't trust the police with it for some undescribable reason. This feeling only got worse when one of the investigators came to Chase with a clipboard. Are you Chase Neal? She asked them. Yes, ma'am, they responded. My pronouns are they, them too. Good to know, the investigator nodded, then sat down on the couch next to Chase. Do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions about Elizabeth? Go ahead. Do you know if Elizabeth had any intentions on taking her own life? What? No, she would never have done that, they responded quickly. Nobody wanted her dead either. She was really smart too. Everyone liked that about her. The investigator nodded, jotting down notes on her clipboard. So this came out of nowhere? Yes, ma'am. A policeman came into the room. Detective, we found marks on the suspect's hands. Suspect? On the subject's hands. Looks like she was hiding something, but it's gone. The investigator looked at Chase. Was she hiding? Was she holding anything when you found her? No, Chase answered involuntarily. It wasn't there when we got there. When we got here. Fucking hell. The investigator sighed and got up from the couch. Thank you for your time. We'll try and solve this as soon as possible. What about the parents? Where are the parents? As the investigator left, Chase gripped the CD case in their pocket. Why did they lie to them? Why did they lie just then? Why did they hand it over to the police? Why didn't they hand it over to... What is wrong with me? If they just handed it over, the disc wouldn't be their problem anymore. Alas, curiosity had a firm hold on them. Was this disc really responsible for Elizabeth's death? Or was it pure coincidence? No, it couldn't have been. This game has more to it than it seems, and whatever it is can't be good. Chase got up to look for Ben and Abby. They felt like they were being watched. This is fun. I actually really like this. Chase, Ben and Abby meet up at Chase's house as planned, and the group of friends are huddled in Chase's room. We're not in some horror movie, Chase, Ben reasons. How on earth could a video game kill someone like that? I don't know, I just have a hunch, Chase responds. A hunch? A hunch? Well, what outstanding evidence you've got there, pal. Chase sets the disc down on top of his computer tower and scratches his head. I just know that Elizabeth's death is linked to whatever that game is. Sure, it might not have been the game itself, but maybe it put some sort of target on Elizabeth's house and someone killed her. Why would anyone want to do that? Abby asks. Beats me, they respond. People are crazy sometimes. So, is it like a true crime episode? Abby gasps. I need my glasses, bloody hell, dyslexic. This is just too scary. The sound of the disc compartment on Chase's computer opening interrupts the conversation, and the accursed disc rattles into the open tray, moving entirely on its own. Oh, shit, what's wrong with my computer? Maybe I'm haunted. No, Chase shouts, but it was too late. The disc tray slides in and locks, refusing to budge despite Chase pressing the eject button 1,000 times. The computer turns itself on and the monitors show the computer booting up. Chase frantically gets underneath the computer desk and unplugs the power strip, and the computer's booting up process stops in the nick of time. I bet you it'll turn on again. That was close, Chase huffed. Okay, maybe that hunch you have is right, Ben admitted. That disc moved completely on its own. There's no way that could have happened by accident. What do we do now? Abby exclaimed. Whatever it is got in the computer, and I bet it doesn't want to leave. Do we play the game or what? I'll give it a day to think it over, Chase decides, getting up from underneath their desk. Besides, we've all got a bit of work to do from school. Chase? Fuck school. No one cares about school. I don't care. I literally don't care about school. Like, I never did. And, like, yeah, I'm getting 1s in GCSE, but who cares? Like, fuck school. I'm actually getting my results next week. Ugh. Also, do you really want to have that disc in your computer while you sleep overnight by yourself? I don't think so. You're telling me, Ben sighed. Those AP classes don't let up. What is AP? AP? Art project? I don't know. Then it's settled, Chase said. We'll meet up in my room again tomorrow as soon as everyone's available. We've got to get to the bottom of this. See you tomorrow, Chase. See you tomorrow. Chase sighed as their friends filed out of the house. It's a good thing their parents weren't home, or else things would have been a lot more complicated. The parents came home at their usual hour, and Chase attempted to explain what happened without mentioning that strange CD. That strange feeling came over them again when they talked about it, as though they felt they had to protect the CD from everyone else. They couldn't trust their feelings anymore. Not being able to play with their friends made matters worse. They couldn't shake the feeling of being trapped, cornered, and resentful. When night fell, they went to bed earlier in hopes of making the next day come sooner. Right when Chase was about to fall asleep, however, they heard a faint, distorted chuckle came from the computer. I fucking knew it! Chase's blood froze and their lungs seized up. Slowly, Chase turned around to look at their computer, and their worst fear had come true. There, surrounded in red static, this evil, bloody Sonic leaned out from the computer monitor, and a mocking, sharp-toothed smile was spread across its face. Chase pinched themselves. Fucking hell. You're not dreaming, the evil... You're not I'm gonna try. You're not dreaming. You're not dreaming. You're not dreaming. The evil Sonic spoke, and its voice was deep and growling. What are you? Chase whispered in fearful awe. If Chase dies, I'm gonna be furious. Even if I told you, you wouldn't understand. That sounds like fucking Jigsaw, bruv. Why won't you play my game, Chase? Chase froze upon the mention of their name. They wanted to ask another question, but they were too afraid of the answer. Elizabeth was so eager to get started, it continued, but you put me off. Such a shame. Why did you kill her? Chase finally spoke up, anger entering their tone. Why her, huh? Out of all the kids in this neighbourhood, why her? The evil Sonic merely laughed, and its smile became more mocking as it revealed more of its razor-sharp teeth. She's not dead, it replied. She's joined the thousands of others who have fallen into my grasp. My endless supply of playthings. Playthings? Chase repeats. Is that all we are to you? Yes, it snarled. Yes, I mean, it doesn't matter how special you think you are. You're just another soul to add to my collection. It rests its head in one of its bloodied hands. You're different, I can tell. It continues. You'll be an exciting soul to play with. It taps its other hand on the edge of the monitor. Your soul has such fire to it. A soul akin to the character I disguise as. Yes, you'll be fun indeed. I'm not gonna let you take anyone else, Chase swore. Elizabeth will be the last person you torment ever again. The evil Sonic howled with laughter, the distortion getting a bit worse. You're a fool to think you can stop me, it bellowed. I'll reap your soul just like any other meaningless child I've run into. Then prove it. Chase challenges the monster in the monitor. Tomorrow we'll play your game, and we'll see if you can back up all of this boasting you're doing. The monitor scoffs. No, monitor? The monster scoffs. I'll be waiting, Chase. As soon as it's finished its sentence, it slipped back into the monitor. The red stag disappeared and Chase's bedroom fell silence. Once more. The next day, Abby and Benjamin came to Chase's house in the early afternoon. Chase explained to them what happened last night, but it was difficult to do without sounding crazy. Are you sure you weren't dreaming? Ben asked for the third time. Yes, I'm sure, Chase replied for the third time. I pinched myself and everything. True or not, we've still got to figure out what this game is all about, Abby steps in. She's right. Ben sighs. Get the computer plugged in and we'll see if it's real. Chase felt a little sick as they plugged in the power strip. It felt wrong playing into the creature's hands, but they had no other choice. As soon as the power strip was plugged in, the computer started up immediately. It was as if plugging it in had restarted its heart. Whoa, that's a little strange, Ben commented. The friends watched as the monitor lit up, displaying the Sonic.EXE intro sequence, just like last time. The screen flashed into the bloody frame before going back. Once more, they looked upon the unsettling save slot screen. So, Abby spoke up. Who's going to play first? I'll go, Chase offered almost involuntarily. I was the one who took the CD anyway. Chase sat down in the computer chair, and they took a deep breath as they hit their enter key. Selecting the save slot was Tails. The familiar sound of the monster laughing played from the speakers, and the sinister game began. Not Tails! The screen showed Tails in the Green Hill Zone, but the music was noticeably wrong. Even the intro scene was wrong, titled Hill instead of Green Hill, Act 1. Tails looked worried, and both the ring and extra lives amounted to 0. Anyone who wanted to play video games could tell him automatically that this isn't right. Chase piloted towards... Fucking hell. Chase piloted Tails forward, making sure he didn't move through the zone too quickly. Ben and Abby pulled up chairs, sitting on either side of Chase as he went through the zone. After half a minute or so of walking, the zone became littered with dead animals, a sight that made Abby gasp. Some hung from trees, others were impaled on plants that had lost their colour, and most were discarded into piles of their deceased comrades. Chase made Tails slow his pace, the unsettling atmosphere of the zone making them wary. Did the evil Sonic guy do this? Abby murmured. What else could it be? Chase replied. Wait! Ben exclaimed, pointing to the screen. Look! Chase stopped moving Tails, and the friends could see the monster itself hiding in one of the bloody palm trees. Its red eyes followed Tails, as Chase moved him back and forth, shuddering. Chase moved Tails around. Before long, they came into a clearing, and the music stopped. Chase stopped moving Tails again, this time moving their hands away from the keyboard. This doesn't feel right, they said. I'm gonna go back to the start if I missed anything. I like it. It's very, connected to the game. But there isn't anything there, is there? Abby said, beginning to question her own words. Chase turned Tails around and went the other way. We'll have to find out. The sickening silence if my AirPods connect one more time. The sickening silence persisted through Tails' walk back to the beginning, as he trackled through the piles of dead animals once more. Once the scene cleared of blood, however, the screen was covered in red static. Tails was then dropped into a new zone, but everything was dark and silhouetted. What the heck? Abby exclaimed. It's an Easter egg, Ben explains. I don't think this is the path we were meant to go on. Good, Chase huffed, moving Tails forward. I didn't want to play by this clown's rules anyway. Chase is getting cocky. The zone didn't last long, and at the end of the trail floated a grey ring. Is that a ring? Ben asked. I think so, Chase responded, and they moved Tails forward to pick up the ring. As soon as they did, the figure of the evil Sonic appeared behind Tails, his burning red eyes staring down at the poor fox. Tails, look out! Abby exclaimed, but the red static took over the screen once more before Chase could do anything about it. I love Tails. You weren't supposed to be there, the monster growled from inside the speakers. His voice sent a shiver down everyone's spines. Maybe we should have kept moving forward, Abby muttered. No way, Chase snapped. I don't want to do what this guy wants. No! The next scene opened up, and the level was titled Hide and Seek. Tails is surrounded in a burning landscape, and he is fearfully pointing right with tears in his eyes. Oh no, poor baby, Abby whimpered. What's he pointing at? Ah! I love Tails. Do you know what? I used to make fun of people who got scared by books and who felt stuff towards books, but I kind of get it now. I think he's telling me where to go, Chase said, and he moved Tails to the right. The landscape went on for a long while, and Chase stopped every now and again to see if Tails was pointing in a different direction. So if this is hide and seek, who's hiding and seeking? Who's hiding and who's seeking? Abby asked. Abby, you're an idiot. Because I know exactly, now that she said that, it's going to begin. And her question was quickly answered when the evil Sonic appeared rapidly on screen, covering Chase's screen in apparitions of itself. At the far left, the evil Sonic began chasing Tails, getting closer with every passing second. Oh shoot, oh shoot, Tails shouted. What do I do? Did I say Tails? I meant Chase. What do I do? There's got to be something I can do. Try jumping over him when he gets too close, Ben exclaimed. It always works. Ben? No. Those are ordinary people with laggy internet, Ben, Chase remarked. This is a demon inside of my computer. Just do it. With the bloodied hedgehog gaining on him, Chase valiantly made Tails jump over the monster and start running in another direction. The mover worked like a miracle. Never mind, Ben, you're amazing. And the monster had to stop in its pursuit. Tails ran straight into a golden ring portal, and the level ended. The room erupted with cheers of triumph, Chase leaping out of their seat and jumping around. Yes! Heck yeah, take that, you little twerp, Chase hollered. I can't believe that worked, Abby exclaimed. Before anyone could say anything else, the game closed itself, leaving nothing but Chase's Stardust Speedway home screen to show on the monitor. I don't know what Stardust Speedway is, but... how did that happen? Ben asked. Chase clicked on the CD player icon to open the game again, but it didn't work. They tried it again, and there was no answer. When he clicked it a third time, the speakers exploded with static and rage. Leave me alone! The monster roared, and the CD player icon disappeared from the home screen. Chase said smugly. I guess he doesn't want to play anymore. Does this mean you can play other games again? Abby asked. I don't want to take any risks, so no, they replied. Let's plan to come back here tomorrow and see if we can play the rest of the game. You want to play the rest of the game? Ben said, surprised. Yeah? If we can save Tails, then we've got to save the others too, Chase explains. Maybe we can get Elizabeth back. As crazy as it sounds, I believe it, Abby said. Come on, let's go and do something else, just in case that demon thing is watching. Before we go, can we establish a name for that guy? Ben suggested. It'd be a lot better than calling it the demon or something. I mean, we could call it what it was on the CD, Chase offered. I think it was Sonic.EXE. Oh, and we could call it EXE for short, Abby chimed in. Sounds good to me, Ben agreed, fitting for a faker like that. Chase and their friends felt a lot more confident about their situation than one normally would. They knew how to bypass a monster's treacherous game by not playing by the rules. For the rest of that day even, they sat in the park while munching on potato chips. Ben talked about his experience playing Sonic games that aren't haunted. Abby listened with great interest, and Chase sat back and sketched the demon in their notebook. Since they only got to see it in full detail for only half a second, drawing the demon was a little difficult. They could distinctly remember those burning red eyes and bloody tears that streamed from them, and this detail seemed to do the trick already. What you doing? What you drawing, Chase? Abby chirped, turning to them. EXE, or at least trying to, they responded. It shouldn't be that hard to draw, Ben commented. In your style, he must look pretty scary. Chase looked over at their drawing, the uncoloured pupils of the monster staring back at them with a toothy grin. Yeah, pretty scary, Chase agreed. So where do we go from there in the game? Abby asked the group. EXE didn't seem to like us not playing by the rules. I'm guessing we just keep going, Chase replied. But I can tell you for sure that he's not going to be happy about it. From what we've seen already, he's got quite the temper. I'll play the next round, so if he pulls anything, I'll be ready, Ben said. I'll even play Knuckles and Sonic Mania when I get home to practice. I'm kind of concerned about Robotnik's level though, Chase pointed out. Robotnik? Don't you mean Eggman? Eggman is his nickname, Abby. Dr. Robotnik is his actual name. It's said that Robotnik is actually faster than Sonic, Ben teased, so we don't even have to worry about EXE on that level, haha. Very funny, but I don't think he'll let that slide, Chase laughed. Oh shoot, what time is it? Abby checks her phone and gets up. Oh man, I've got to get ready for a game. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the second level, okay? Alright, see you later, Abby. See you later. Maybe I should try an American accent. Abby picks up her things and takes off to her house, which isn't too far away from the park they were staying at. I'll do an American accent for Abby, and I'll do a kind of my voice for Chase, and I'll do Ben with some posh voice. Ben sighs and gets up as well. Here, I'll walk home with you, Chase. Chase stands up and closes their notebook. They had finished the drawing, but decided they didn't want to show anyone. It seemed a little too real. Chase went to bed that night peacefully, and they completely forgot the fear they felt for the demon in their computer. The demon, however, didn't forget its anger towards the offending teenager. As punishment, the insolent fool would never rest in peace. Chase came to their senses as they felt warmth of a fire surrounding them. They quickly get up, realising that they are in Tails' place in hide-and-seek. In the distance, they see the familiar figure of Elizabeth. Elizabeth! Chase calls, running after her. Elizabeth, can you hear me? Chase? Elizabeth responds. Chase! The friends meet in the middle, both of them panting. Chase! Elizabeth huffs and puffs. Chase, you gotta get out of here. You gotta stop playing its game. But we know how to beat it, Chase explains. We're not playing by his rules. As long as we go against what he wants, we can save them. And we can save you too. No, you don't understand, Elizabeth says, tears coming to her eyes. It's too powerful. Even if you do beat that game, something terrible will happen. You have to stop. Before she could say any more, the spine-chilling laugh of the demon echoes throughout the burning forest. Elizabeth begins to panic. You have to get out of here, she says quickly. It's coming for you. You need to. Elizabeth freezes in fear, staring at something behind Chase. When they turn around to look, EXE comes flying into them, knocking them into the ground. The demon grabs Chase by the wrist, keeping them on the ground with its foot. You think you're so clever working around my little game like that, don't you? EXE snarls, blood streaming from his eyes and dripping onto Chase. Well, your little victory, is that him saying that? Well, your little victory won't last long. What's that supposed to mean? Pincushion. Chase sneers back. The insult only made the demon angrier, so it let go of Chase, grabbed them by the neck and dragged them up from the ground. Chase gagged in its strong grip, struggling to breathe. What it means, fool, it growls, is that while you and your party were celebrating, I've reworked and redone my strategy. You make it interesting, I admit, but I won't tolerate being beaten at my own game. What will you do if we beat you again, huh? Chase continues to challenge the demon. You can't do anything. You're stuck behind a screen. The demon laughs upon the remark, shaking its head. You think that I'm not real, don't you? It says slyly. You still think that I won't affect you outside of your computer? Well, I assure you, Chase, that I am very real. EXE threw Chase to the ground, and they woke up with a start. A stinging pain pinched at their neck. When they felt around it, their hand was dabbled with blood. They got out of bed in a flash, dashing for the bathroom. In the mirror, they could see 4 thin claw marks on their neck, each one fresh and bleeding. Alright, Ben, are you ready for level 2? Ben takes a seat at Chase's computer, cracking his knuckles. Ready as I'll ever be. Ready as I'll ever be. He fires up the computer and the game opens by itself, skipping over the intro sequence and going straight to the save slot screen. Tails' save slot is empty besides the green ring. Yes! And Knuckles' save slot is unlocked. Ben selects it, and the demon laugh echoes throughout the speakers once more. Everyone watches the screen intently, and the level was titled, A New Game. Chase has shuddered. They had a feeling this would happen. Oh my god, that was a weird burp. Ben started off going left instead of right, guiding Knuckles with confidence. He came to what appeared to be the edge of the map, and it looked out into the sea of blood-red clouds. Fucking hell, I'm so dyslexic. Should I jump? Should I jump? Ben asks the group. Yeah, Knuckles can climb so you can recover if you need to, Chase replies. Ben guides Knuckles off the edge, and it teleports him into a new zone. Everything is silhouetted like last time, but the zone looks much more complicated. Before anyone can make any remarks, EXE appears in front of the scene, its eyes staring into the souls of the onlookers. I'm gonna get ya, it mocked, and once it disappeared from the screen, the demon began to chase Knuckles from the left side of the stage. Go, go, go! Go, go, go! Abby shrieked, and Ben wasted no time. He guided Knuckles through a complicated obstacle course, filled with dangerous red springs, spikes, and lava to boot. The skill he showed impressed both Abby and Chase thoroughly, but the chase was a long and grueling one. After about 5 minutes or so of intense climbing and gliding, the grey ring came into sight. You're almost there, Ben. You can do it, Abby cheered. Chase couldn't do anything except hold their breath. Ben guided Knuckles up the last cliff edge, and he got the ring in the nick of time, leaving EXE in the dust as he teleported back to the original stage. Everyone cheered and gave Ben high fives. Dang, bro, that was insane, Chase exclaimed. You weren't kidding when you said you'd practice. Yeah, that was crazy, Abby chimed in. It's not over yet, guys, Ben huffed. We still have to get through this stage alive. Right, let's keep going. Ben guided Knuckles forward once more, cautiously looking around the bleak, metallic landscape. Nothing happened for some time, but eventually fresh blood splatters began to stain the ground. Knuckles looked disgusted as he moved forward. Is it me, or do the characters in this game seem real? Abby remarked. You're right, Chase agreed. Their expression changes with their environment. They must know what's going on. The startling beeping of EXE appearing interrupts the conversation, and its voice calls back to the speakers. Found you. Knuckles is then faced with the blurry figure of EXE, and a whining, screaming track blares over the speakers. Even Knuckles recoils upon the horrid sound, putting his mitts over his head and looking around frantically. Turn it down, Abby exclaims. I can't. Ben responds quickly. None of the volume buttons are working. Get Knuckles to punch him then, Chase says. That'll shut him up. Ben then tries to get Knuckles close enough to punch EXE, but every time he does, EXE just teleports behind them. After going back and forth for an uncountable amount of times, Knuckles collapses onto the floor of tears. Abby gasps, Knuckles, no! Come on, get up! Get up, you can get him! EXE inches closer, the fogginess around itself fading. Knuckles, get up! Get up, he's right behind you! That's when Knuckles got up and socked EXE right in the face, causing the demon to stumble back from the blow. Using this extra time, Knuckles books it to the right without Ben's help and leaps into the golden ring portal, ending the level. Before anyone could cheer, however, the demon roared and screamed, turning the monitor off and causing the surrounded outlets to spark and pop. Everyone leaped back from the computer desk. Jeez, talk about a temper tantrum, Chase said. I'm gonna need a computer at this point. Don't worry, I've got a spare, Ben assured them. Wait a minute, guys, Abby said. Did you see that? Knuckles heard me. I was cheering him on and he heard me. I didn't touch the keyboard at all, Ben agreed. He completely moved on his own. That's insane, Chase said, running a hand through their hair. Looks like it really is real. Real? Abby asked. Yeah, real, Chase elaborated. Last night, I had a nightmare with EXE in it. He told me that he was going to show us that he's real and, well, I guess he proved his point a little bit. I think he proved it a lot. Ben remarked that electricity spark was no joke. I'm guessing he doesn't want to play anymore today. We'll have to finish this tomorrow, Chase said. Maybe after school? Sounds like a plan to me, Ben agreed. Yeah, I think we've had one enough for today anyway, Abby agreed as well. I hope you like the voices I'm doing. 44 minutes long! Fucking hell. The demon festered within the circuits of the computer, fuming with rage. How? How? The obstacle course was supposed to be impossible. That stupid kid couldn't have been able to make it through. Someone must have helped him, but who? Knuckles was just as clueless about the course, so it couldn't have been him. How did they do it? How? It glared detestfully out of the monitor, looking around Chase's room. There has to be a way it can get back at them, a way to make itself unavoidable. That's when it noticed a cell phone on the computer desk. The demon smirked. The day carried on like last time, except instead of hanging out at the park, everyone went home to collect their thoughts and do some research on how Robotnik works in the original Sonic games. The group was almost done with this twisted game, and they all were very confident that they could beat the demon that rests inside. Chase was the most confident of them all, despite the nightmares that were inflicted upon them. Knowing that the characters in the game can hear them, going through the next level will be easy as pie, or so they thought. That night, when Chase went to plug in their phone by the nightstand, they felt an electric shock shoot up their arm. The familiar chuckle of the demon echoed once more, but it didn't come from the computer. It came from their phone. Chase turned it on, and the lock screen was EXE himself, smiling as smugly as ever with the new kind of determination in those burning red eyes. Chase froze in their place. "You thought you could get away from me, didn't you?" The demon had teased. "You thought I was tethered to that old computer? Well, I'm not letting you off the hook that easily. Play my game, Chase." "We're gonna play it tomorrow, didn't you hear?" Chase refuted. "You can wait another day." Chase was going to set the phone down, but they got shocked again. "I'm not gonna wait for your stupid friend," the demon sneered. "Play my game, Chase." "No!" Chase yelled, and they threw the phone onto the ground before they could get shocked again. "I see how it is," the demon snarled. "You still think you have control over me? I'll prove to you it's the other way around." All at once, every speaker in Chase's room blaring the high-pitched whining and screaming at full volume, causing them to cover their ears and fall to the ground. "Play my game, Chase," the demon roared above the pandemonium. "Play my game." All right, they shouted. "Just make it stop." The whining faded away in almost an instant, and Chase picked up their phone again. They set it by the computer tower and turned on the computer reluctantly. Chase's hands began to tremble a little as the game started up again. How were they supposed to do this without the others? What if there was another obstacle course and they didn't make it? 1,000 questions ran through their mind, but despite all doubt, they selected Robotnik's save slot. The last one in the roster, with no green ring. Chase cracked their knuckles. This is going to be risky. The level opened with the title, ... and the surrounding area appeared to be a castle with a black and white checkered floor. Torches lit up the area, and in the middle of it all stood Robotnik, who kept looking around frantically. "It's all right, Doc," Chase said as they piloted him forward. "I won't let him get you." They eventually came to a flight of stairs, and Robotnik stopped at the edge of it. Remembering the little trick they used to have throughout the game, Chase turned Robotnik around, and I literally know about this. I don't know why I remember it, but he goes super fast down the stairs. Sure enough, the red stag appeared, and they were teleported to another silhouetted secret zone. Above Robotnik was 3 panels, each with 3 symbols, a red X, a blue square, and a green circle. Below the panels are 3 colour-coded buttons for each of the symbols. "I get it," Chase said mostly to himself. "It's a puzzle. Fitting for a character like Robotnik." EXE appeared above the panels, its soaring red eyes staring down at Robotnik and following its every move. "Ready for my game, little fool?" the demon asked. Robotnik answered for both of them, nodding his head. Then let us begin," it said with a smirk. "You'll be shown a pattern, match it correctly, and you'll be shown another. Fail to input the correct pattern, and you'll perish." Robotnik began to sweat a little bit, and Chase shivered. The stakes were certainly higher than the last few special zones. The red X flashed once. Chase guided Robotnik over the X panel and activated it. Afterwards, the X flashed once, and the circle flashed afterwards. As the memory game continued, the pattern got longer and longer. It was the 7th round that Chase began to hesitate. The symbols flashed in order: X, circle, X, square, circle, X, X, square, circle, square, circle, circle, X. The sequence went by quickly, so it didn't give Chase a lot of time to truly memorise the pattern. They spoke aloud as they guided Robotnik to the corresponding panels. X, circle, X, square, circle, X, X. They hesitated, their memory failing them. Circle? Robotnik shook his head no, then went over to the square panel and pressed it. Thankfully, Robotnik was right. All right, now there's the circle. They continued. Square, circle, circle, X. All three symbols flashed in unison, signalling the end of the memory game. Chase let out a sigh of relief, as did Robotnik. The demon chuckled. Very good. Let's change things up a bit. The symbols on the panel change, now showing a symbol for A B, and a C. Who's in your little group best fits Tails? That was an obvious one for Chase. That's Abby. Easy. Robotnik pushed the button for A. Who in your group best fits Knuckles? Another obvious one. Chase began to wonder if there was a catch, but Robotnik pushed the B button anyway. Now the final question, the demon said with an awful smirk. Who do you fit, Chase? The symbols changed once again to a symbol for Tails, Knuckles and Robotnik. They took their hands off the keyboard and thought about this for a little. The only option left was Robotnik's symbol, but they couldn't help but feel that there was something wrong. Robotnik pointed to the right, waving his other hand to get Chase's attention. Huh? Go to the right? Chase whispered. He pilots Robotnik to the right, and a little ways away from the other panels is a hidden panel with Sonic's symbol on it. That was a really cheap EXE. Chase laughed a little, and Robotnik pushed the button. A grey ring appeared in front of him, and as soon as he picked it up, Robotnik was teleported back to the starting zone. Chase piloted Robotnik forward, this time going down the flight of stairs. They had no idea what to do from here. Robotnik was never a playable character, and there weren't any telltale signs of any abilities that Robotnik could have. All they could do was topple down the oversized steps and hope for the best. As they went down another flight of stairs, the demon laughed and the torches turned blue, the surrounding area darkening. Chase felt a shiver of dread. I don't think I can save him, they thought. In the next minute, the terrible demon appeared in front of the helpless doctor. No! I'm sorry, Chase whispered, their voice laden with hopelessness. Before EXE could make its move, Knuckles flew in and punched EXE from behind, knocking the demon to the ground. Tails came in shortly as Knuckles and EXE fought. As Tails helped Robotnik up the stairs, at the top of the stairs was a golden ring portal, and they waited for Knuckles at the top. Knuckles quickly came up the stairs, but he looked beat up and bloodied. EXE was close behind, but all three characters went through the ring portal before the demon could pull them back. Chase cheered as the demon pounded the floor in range. They did it! They finally beat the game! I told you we weren't going to play your game, Chase said triumphantly as EXE glared at him. Everyone is alive and your torment is over. Instead of throwing its unusual tantrum, EXE closed its eyes and chuckled. Huh? What's so funny? I told you, we beat the game. The demon's laughing got louder as it stood up, cackling like a maniac. The zone around it faded to black as it laughed, and Chase felt a terrible, creeping dread weave its way up their spine. The demon turned to Chase, and it sprinted up to the screen so all they could see was its face. They could see all the unnerving details of the demon's visage. Don't know. Right down to the bloodstains surrounding the terrible creature's eyes. You think you've won, but this is just the beginning, the demon said forebodingly. It wouldn't have mattered if you won or lost, for I still have power over you. Tonight, we make my world of torment a reality. EXE reaches up to the screen, but instead of its hand stopping upon meeting the monitor, the hand comes out of the monitor, surrounded in red static. Chase pushes themselves back, almost falling over in the chair. The demon's hand grabs onto the edge of the monitor, also bring its other hand out of the monitor to pull itself through. It wasn't kidding, it's real. Stumbling out of the computer chair, Chase speeds out of their room with their phone in hand. They didn't dare look back, for even 1 second of distraction could mean their doom. Now the game is different. They're the one in the save slot, the one who only has one life and one chance to save themselves and their friends. Despite the pressing vices of fate being forced upon Chase's heart, they held a firm confidence against the demon. If they can beat it in game, they can beat it in the real world. They dive behind a couch and call Ben and Abby at the same time, hoping and praying that they'll pick up. Chase can already feel the demon's presence getting closer as their phone call is answered. Chase, what's going on? Abby asks. It's almost midnight. I don't have time to explain, Chase says quickly. I need you guys to come over right now. Why? Ben asks wearily. You can't hide from me, Chase. The demon's voice echoes throughout the house. That's why, Chase whispers harshly. EXE comes to the back of the couch and swipes at them, but they dive out of the way in the nick of time. They book it for the front door, but EXE teleports in front of them before they can make it. Chase changes direction and runs into the kitchen, looking for something to defend himself. I'll try and bring him outside, Chase plans hastily. Bring something to defend yourself and I'll meet you guys there. They hang up the call, shove their phone in their pocket and grab a knife from the nearby knife block. As soon as they turn around, EXE is only a foot away and its eyes burning with a new kind of terrifying power. Do you really think you'll last that long? It taunts with a smile of sharp yellow teeth. I can try. Chase sneers and they swing the knife. Do you know what? I love it when protagonists are so cocky. And they swing the knife at the demon. EXE catches it with one gloved hand and the sharp end of the knife cutting into its palm as Chase tries to force it forward. Using their free hand, Chase reaches behind himself and grabs another smaller knife, quickly cutting EXE across the face, which forces it to teleport away. Chase wastes no time, taking the opportunity to book it through the front door and out into the cul-de-sac. What is a cul-de-sac? Is that a street? They stop in the middle to catch their breath, their eyes darting around wildly in search of the demon. Sure enough, the demon's laugh echoes in Chase's mind, but before Chase could react, the demon lunges at them from behind and knocks them to the ground, the two knives they were holding clattering on the asphalt. Chase turns around and tries to get up, but EXE grabs them by the neck and holds them up high. His grip is strong and dreadful as it was in the nightmare. To their surprise, the cut across EXE's face wasn't there. It must have healed. You must have thought you were so special, the demon says. You thought your friends would come to help you, and that you could outlast me in time for them to be here. The reality is, Chase, you're just like any other worthless human I've ever played with. You're just another helpless victim that I'll enjoy tearing into pieces. They're coming, Chase sputters. I know they are. Oh, still with that determination, it scoffs. I thought that would make our experience more interesting, but it's beginning to annoy me. Quit your useless struggling. Come and see what I have in store for you. The demon opens its mouth and two arms sliver out from the depths of its insides. Chase isn't going anywhere. Chase isn't going anywhere. Abby comes in the nick of time, swinging her metal softball bat and hitting EXE square in the head. The blow causes EXE to drop Chase and shift its focus to Abby. Abby, Chase coughs, recovering from the demon's death grip. You made it. Yeah, Ben did too, Abby says. Ben waves at Chase and he is holding an old Acer laptop in his other hand. I figured we can try and trap him again, but this laptop is old and slow, Ben exclaims. I need you guys to hold him off while I get this thing to work. He's got a deep voice now. Abby wraps her bat on the asphalt like she just stepped up to the plate. Come on, let's show this bloody-eyed freak who's boss. You'll regret being so bold, EXE snarls. Try me, Abby challenges the demon, and she swings for its head for it a second time. The demon catches the bat this time, and the two opponents push against each other. Abby manages to hold the demon off for a short time, but eventually shoves her down to the ground and pins her, using its foot. Chase springs back into action, grabbing the fallen softball bat and hitting the demon on the head with it. EXE roars in annoyance and grabs the softball bat out of Chase's hands. It flings the bat away from the group, and the demon turns its attention back to Chase, a deadly scowl replacing its formerly confident smirk. It lunges for the unprepared Chase, and it claws at their arm, giving them 3 large gashes across their arm. Chase screams, stumbling back and holding their injured arm. Abby gets back up upon hearing Chase scream, and she tackles EXE to the ground, getting angrier. The demon pushes her off and claws her across the chest, causing her to cry out and cover her chest. Enough! The demon roars. I'll end this pointless game. EXE teleports away, and the familiar sound of the whining and screaming surrounds them. It's like the Knuckles level, Chase exclaims. Abby, get behind me, just like Chase predicted. Apparitions of the demon appear all around them. Chase bends down and grabs one of the knives they brought beforehand, and Abby does the same. They each hold out the blade in front of themselves, both of their hearts beating fast with determination and fear. Remember, Chase huffs, don't attack unless the ghosts look more solid than the others. Just a bit longer, guys, Ben calls. It's almost booted up. That's when Chase notices one of the apparitions is behind Ben. He looks clearer than the others, and its eyes burn with victorious evil. Ben, behind you! But it was too late. EXE claws Ben on his back, causing him to fall to the ground and let go of the laptop, knocking out the lights on the screen. The demon prepares to strike a second time, but the laptop flickers back to life. The demon hisses upon the laptop, turning back on, teleporting away to avoid the light of the screen. Chase and Abby run past the apparitions that surround them and come up to Ben, who is laying on the app cell with the wind knocked out of him. Ben, are you alright? Abby exclaims. I'll be fine, he gasps. Take the laptop and point it at him once he gets close. It's our only way of stopping this once and for all. Chase picks up the laptop and points the screen away from them, looking around at the apparitions that continue to bombard the group with high-pitched wailing and screaming. Abby helps Ben off the ground, and they come back to back with Chase to help him spot the demon. Come on, Chase whispers. Show yourself already. Be careful what you wish for, the demon snarls, his voice echoing each of its hazy doubles. Chase, behind you! Abby shouts. Chase whirls around and catches EXE in the light of the laptop. It roars and teleports away again. Dang it, Chase thinks to himself. I need him to get closer. Did I say himself? I meant themselves. I need him to get closer. Your bravery will be your doom. I don't know why I said it like that. The demon taunts again. Over here. No, I've got it all wrong now. Over here. That can be his voice, Ben calls. Chase faces in Ben's direction, catching the demon in the light again. It appears to struggle pulling away this time, but it still teleports away. The demon's frustration saturates the air, its growling surrounding the group of friends. Hurrah! The demon roars. You cannot defeat me! I am God! All of the apparitions converge several feet in front of Chase, all of them coming together to make this distorted figure of Sonic.EXE. As one last effort, the demon charges forward with its mouth wide open, its claws outstretched to rip and tear anything that crosses its path. You're nobody's god, Chase says defiantly, and they hold up the laptop as soon as EXE gets too close. Before the demon could teleport away again, his hand gets caught in the screen, and the laptop begins to pull EXE inside of the screen. Fear and anger stain the demon's face, its eyes dimming as it gets pulled back into the digital world from which it came. In a flash of electricity, EXE is sucked into the laptop, and Chase slams it shut as soon as the demon is gone. The laptop pops and fizzes, rattling around in Chase's hands. After a minute or two, it calms down, and a blissful silence surrounds them. It's over. Wow, Ben says after a while. I feel like one of the Ghostbusters. Wow. That night, several police cars and an ambulance were called to assist three teenagers who were allegedly attacked by a large feral dog. They were out in the cul-de-sac exchanging a school laptop for a school project when this dog attacked them, and they managed to keep it at bay using 2 knives and a softball bat. The investigators thought skeptically about their claims, but everything appeared to check out. The teenagers were ushered to the hospital to get their wounds treated, and they were able to return to school the next day as if nothing had ever happened. The 3 friends agreed to keep the secret of Sonic.EXE to themselves, and Chase took on the duty of keeping the laptop with the demon inside. It now rests in their basement, as it is placed as far from the power outlets as one can manage. The original Sonic.EXE disc is still in Chase's computer and is now totally harmless. The disc allows Tails, Knuckles and Robotnik to roam about freely on Chase's computer, where the characters watch Chase play games, talk using text files, and learn more about themselves and their odd circumstance. It was silly to think, however, that Chase and their friends got away with humiliating the demon in such a way. After all, they only postponed the inevitable. The demon is not dead. Far from it, actually. It's seething with rage and revenge, and with the kind of power it holds, that laptop won't hold in place forever. That's why it should have been no surprise when Chase had a nightmare 2 months later, by it where they had the foul howling laugh of the demon once more. Ready for round 2. Ready for round 2. The end. I was not planning to read the whole thing. I love that. Whoever wrote that, that was really good. I enjoyed the characters. I think I like Abby and Chase the most. No offence to Ben. No, do you know what? I like Ben. I like all 3 of them. Although Elizabeth, man, I hope in part 2 Elizabeth gets rescued, you know. If there is a part 2. There probably isn't. But it's literally about to turn 1 o'clock in the morning. So I think I'm gonna go. But first, I've got to treat you to my book, okay? It's 1 chapter long, and I'm not very... It's the first draft, okay? It's not... I'll read it to you. I'm not going to tell you the plot or anything like that. I'm just going to tell you what the chapter is. I'm going to read the chapter. It's not even the full chapter, so... The title, or the chapter title, New to Maywell. The dark green gate opened slower than a snail and squeaked until my ears couldn't take it anymore. As the gate continues to open, I squeezed through the open space there was to get in and started to walk down the rock path. Just ahead of me was a big window showcasing a large office. That must be the head teacher's office. I paced past the window and pushed the big button to open the large white doors to the reception. I stepped in, but there was yet another smaller white door blocking my path. Sorry, I need to scroll down, but I don't have a mouse, so it's difficult. I glance around the small empty room until I see another button to push. The door opens and I'm finally granted entry to the reception. Could you sign in, please? No, I don't know why I gave her American. Could you sign in, please? Okay, I guess we're going with American. The receptionist with the blonde hair that goes down to her slim shoulders asked. The room looked bleak with a hint of personality. There was 2 signs by a wooden door to the rest of the school that showed the school logo, a black and dark blue thunderbolt and a large armour-looking icon, along with the motto of the school, Life, Achievement, Success. To the left of me was another hallway that seemed to go to the head teacher's office, and a staff-only bathroom, and right by me are some colourful seats in the make-do waiting area. I walk over to the desk and I get presented with an old-looking clipboard. Just ahead of me was an open room to the rest of the reception. It seems the other receptionists are gossiping about some of the students in school by the coffee machine. I would just like to say that the reception is based off the reception in my actual school. Well, in my head it is, but it might not be to you. But then he came inside with mud all down him. The receptionist burst into laughter. Clearly I came too late to hear the start of the joke. As I signed my name along with the current time, 8:28, the receptionist stares at me for a moment before realising. Oh, hold on, are you... She pauses for a moment to search something up in her computer. Are you Jack May... I can't believe I ruined that. I ruined the iconic line. Are you Jack Mayview? The receptionist asks. I am. Wait, no, I need to do with his voice, the one that I envisioned. I am. I rest my arm. That sounded like me, but just a tiny bit lower. I rest my arm on the counter. Your last name is the same as the street. What a coincidence. The receptionist laughs gently, knowing she has more fun gossip to tell the other receptionists. Yeah, I speak. Alright. The receptionist looks confused when she notices my blank reaction. So, just wait a second. I'll get someone to pop down. I nod and take a seat behind me on the colourful soft seats in the waiting area as I wait for whoever to come and show me around. I wish I didn't need to do all of this. I'm smart. I don't need a school. I'm smart. I don't need a school. That's a better way of saying it. As I plan in my head, a tall boy wearing his school clothes improperly gets dragged down to the seat next to me. With a huff, the boy crosses his arms and stretches out his legs. Can't fucking believe this, the black-haired boy muttered under his breath. Language, the teacher spits, utterly appalled by the boy. The first day back to school and you've already gotten yourself a detention. Once again, teachers based off my actual school. It's my complete first day and I've already seen the type of school this is. Another reason why I don't need to be at school in the first place. The boy wears no blazer or the dark blue jumper, and his trousers are dirty and so is his black school shoes. I forgot to mention the tie. I'll add that. The grey-haired teacher gives me a suspicious look before using this moment to embarrass the dirty kid. I hope you don't become like this stupid boy here. She speaks with stern eyes. She lifts up her hands. This school has so many opportunities. Don't waste them by mucking around all day. I won't, I say. The boy lifts his head and faces me with his spiked hair. They say that at the start to get you to stay here, he speaks boldly. They said that to me the first day of year 7. Guess what? They still haven't. You have one last chance, mister. I mean it, the teacher yells, making the boy jolt suddenly with an amused face. I tap my legs with my fingers and look around for the person meaning to guide me around school, but no one is around. I look back at them both and they're still arguing like an old married couple. I relax my head on top of the chair as I slowly sink into the squishy seat. And that is as much as I got up to. I think, like, me reading it out loud, I think it's done quite well. Obviously, I'm going to improve a little bit with mentioning the tie because I like to give people a description on the school uniform. I don't know why, I just do that. I know people don't. Like for the Sonic.EXE thing, they didn't describe the appearance of the characters, but I do, because obviously you can leave stuff to the head imagination, but I prefer to have my characters kind of the same look. Not everyone's going to think of them in a different way, but I like to have some stuff remain the same in a way. Like the spiked hair, you can envision his hair in any way, just as long as it's spiked, if you get what I mean. I have my envision of the character with spiked hair. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed that. I can't wait to... It's an original book, it's not based off any game, it's like my own thing. It's inspired by Persona, I will say that, because Persona is amazing. But yeah, this isn't the first book that I've written. I've written one. I haven't released any of them, published any of them, because they're really bad. And this one is the one that I am trying so hard on, and this is the one that I want to publish to people so they can read it. But yeah, I think that's all. We're at 1 hour and 12 minutes into the video, so I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. It's 1:05 AM in the morning. Lovely. I'm gonna go to sleep because I'm tired, but I'd love to make another video like this. This was really chill and quite calming, actually. And I'd love to read you. Technically, I'm an author. Technically, since I'm the author of this book, did I just give you an audiobook? Did I just do the first draft of the audiobook? Oh my god, I'd love to do an audiobook. I'm so gonna do that. I'm doing that. I'm gonna go because my feet, my legs and my ass are aching because I've been sitting in this position for an hour. I don't know why I'm whispering now. ASMR. Right, okay. I don't know what that was. Goodbye.